And on top of that, Houghton's a tough place to play too. They've got really good fan support there and tough building to play in. So we're going to have our work cut out for us this weekend for sure.
How do you take from the win last week, the 6-2 win against Northern Michigan? What do you take from that game into Michigan Tech this week?
We were pretty opportunistic. We felt like Friday we played really well. We all talked after the game Friday, and we had a bunch of guys play the way we want to play and play hockey the way our team is built, and that was fun to see. It's always fun to see guys get involved and get on the score sheet. That selfishly they enjoy that, and it's good to see guys. If we could score 10 every night, that'd be great because a lot of guys would feel good about that. As you guys know, that's not always the case. But the takeaway is we saw ourselves play really, really well against a very good Northern Michigan team. And then, the Saturday, like we talked about, they upped their game a little bit, and we weren't quite where we needed to be, and ultimately we didn't get on the score sheet. But there were definitely positives. If you look back at the weekend, we gave up 4 goals on the weekend, which is good. We only gave up one 5-on-5 goal, which is a positive. Unfortunately, we gave up a couple shorthanded goals, and then the 5-on-3 goals. They made a really nice play there, so you got to tip your hat to Northern there. But only giving up one 5-on-5 goal is definitely a positive leading into this weekend against Michigan Tech.
Yeah, the past 3 weeks you played kind of teams that have a 2-goalie room. How different is it just to play one goalie with probably Blake Pietla playing both nights?
Yeah, I think based on the way the position's going, I mean, we see it, with us. We had, situations where we had a 1A and a 1B, and then there's other teams that are they ride one guy, and that's the deal. And so this weekend, we are planning on seeing Pietla both nights, and we know he's a really good goalie. And ultimately, regardless of who's in the net for the other team, how we play and what we do in front of that goalie is more important to us than who's in the net.
You mentioned giving up only 4 goals last weekend. How does it feel to have both Colmore and Christian Stover?
It's a positive. I look forward to the day when we have Christian back and we have 2 guys that we go to. And unfortunately, we haven't had that situation much this year. But Cole did a nice job, and he's starting to get comfortable with what it takes to be a Division I goalie and how you manage that and how you handle the day-to-day, balancing the workouts and the practice and the classroom and then the road trips and the home games and all that. So Cole's getting more comfortable, and Christian's getting closer and closer to getting back, which will be nice. And it'll be nice for us to have healthy competition. Just like any of our other positions, we feel like healthy competition in goal brings out the best in both of those guys or all of our guys. So being able to have options is a good thing.
Yeah, talking about other positions, Brody Waters wins CCHA Newcomer of the Week. Can you talk about how much you've liked from him so far this year?
Yeah, Brody's done a really good job. He's a guy that came in and wasn't handed. We didn't start Brody on a line with Josh Nodler and Ryan O'Hara. Brody worked his way up to that, and he's been consistent in practice. And then his effort on a day-to-day basis has been really, really good. And he's a big, strong kid who got engaged physically this weekend, and then when he gets some chances in and around the net, he's got real good hands, and he's sneaky down there. So that's good to see. So really happy for Brody to be recognized by the CCHA, and I don't see that being his last time that he gets an award like that.
How big do you think is him having Nodler and O'Hara, veteran leadership on that line with him?
Yeah, I think it's anytime anybody wins an individual award, there's other people that contribute to that. So certainly Josh and Ryan have contributed to Brody's success. One, they've taken him under their wing, and they treat him like an equal. They don't look at him any differently just because he's a freshman player. They treat him like an equal, and they've told him some things, and throughout the process, whether it's in practice or in games, I see them talking to each other, and they're just line mates. They're not a grad transfer, a junior, and a freshman. They're line mates who treat each other with respect and ultimately want the best for each other, which is fun to see.
And then Peter has a question on the.
Hi, Pete.
Here.
Coming into the season, what was yours and the coaching staff's expectations of Nodler and Kirsten?
We felt like they both, with the experience they had, they would for sure help us in that regard. The experience standpoint, in Nodler's case, we knew that he had a good 3 years at Michigan State, and they liked him as a human being, and they liked his leadership, which was intriguing to us. And then last year at UMass was a different year. The one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot in the era of the transfer portal, sometimes when you leave to go someplace else, it doesn't always work out the way you hope, right? Ideally, you go someplace and your role grows and the success you have, and it's a win-win-win. You win individually, you win as a team, and everybody's happy. And in Josh's case, and it's no one's fault. It just didn't go the way he had planned. So we felt like he'd be able to come here, and our goal for him was to have his best year of college hockey on the ice, off the ice, in the dressing room, all that, and he's been that. He's a really, really good young man, and he's a really good teammate. He's fit right in, and I see him interact with the players in our lounge, and it's as if he'd been here the whole time. So that was a positive with Josh. And then with Spencer, we felt like he was a kid who missed an entire year being at Princeton because the Ivies didn't play. So he was going to be hungry. He can really skate. We knew he would help us on the penalty kill and on draws, and he's been really good in those areas. He's been a part of our power play too, so he's added another person in all three of those areas for us: 5-on-5, penalty kill, and power play. So they've been as advertised as people. Spencer's also another guy that gets along great with the guys and has fit right in and really seems comfortable here at Bowling Green. So we're really happy with both of those guys in terms of what our expectations were and then what we've gotten up to this point.
Okay, are you working with them to try to get them out of their comfort zones that they've had the first 4 years in college hockey and maybe try some different things, maybe be a little more offensive? Neither have been known for their putting up big numbers, but maybe try to increase their game in that aspect?
Yeah, that's the one thing. They both produced prior to college. They both were offensive players through their minor hockey days and then in junior hockey. As you know, Peter, it's not always easy to score in college. It's difficult, but we feel like it's starting to come with both of them. I know that Josh and Ryan had a good thing going there for a few weeks where they were on the score sheet every night, and we believe they're going to consistently be a part of whatever offense we have, both Spencer and Josh. But yeah, I think getting them to trust some things, getting them to, and not that they don't trust, but trust themselves. Trust that they both shoot the puck real well, and maybe getting them to think shoot a little bit more is something that we've talked to them about. And then how we generate might be different than how Princeton generated or how UMass generated. So how we generate, I think, will continue to evolve. And I see this team and those two as a big part of that individually. I see this team continuing to develop offensively, and I think you'll see that out of both of those guys individually as well.